Hello everyone. How are you? I know we already have 2 panel sessions and this is the last one. So let's hold in and listen to what is here. So I know most of you are aspiring to build startups, but also you think you do love to work on a startup. So with all these aspirations, what does it really take to actually build a startup? What are the challenges? And exactly how can you navigate through them? So today's panel session, this will deal with how to exactly build a startup from scratch. And with our esteemed panelists, we're going to go through that. So thank you very much, and let's take our ears in. My name is Alex Mkwezu. I'm a student at the University of Dar es Salaam, graduating this year. I'm a hub manager at the University of Dar es Salaam, which is student-led. And our dream is to link between students and the industry, the academia and the industry, because we believe through this linkage is where students get to learn the actual problems that are there in the industry and solve them. Well, I will put a round of introduction to our esteemed panelists. So here's a challenge. You have to introduce yourself, then what you do, a fun fact about yourself, and what you love to do in your free time. Should I repeat that?
I think I got it.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. So my name's Redemptha William Nsanzugwanko. You can call me Red. I'm a marketing and communications consultant. I'm a digital creator. In today's world, you might call me an influencer, but I love to be addressed as a brand advocate because I believe being a brand advocate covers the influencer part of the marketing. And what I love to do in my free time, you say that, Mr. Moderator?
Yes.
What I love doing in my free time.
And a fun fact about yourself.
Fun fact about myself. Wasn't I bragging like I got it? I'm an energetic person. I can do, okay, I know it's coming. Fun fact about myself. Maybe let's pause that. As I speak, it will come out. And what I love to do in my free time, working out.
Wow. Okay, in the meantime, Mr. Francis Omorojie, can you join us on the stage, please?
Yeah. I was going to propose that. I was like, that question, Francis has to be here. And he was just sitting right there. So I go and introduce myself, or Francis takes over?
Just start and...
Yeah, so my name is Albany James. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm just basically a guy who does nothing. I've invested, I've built a couple of businesses. Before that, I used to be the head of marketing for Jumia for like 4 years. Fun fact about me is, I don't know, I can't sleep. Like that's, if that is a thing, right? I don't sleep. I don't know why, and I would still wake up in the morning and I'll still move on. Yeah. What do I like doing in my free time? It works. I don't think this is a proper place to disclose it, but I like a cold beer on a sunny day. So that's what I like to do on my free time, and that's like honestly, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Francis. Should I say where I'm from? Yeah, so I'm venture partner at Enemy Ventures, basically supporting startups to commercialize and providing those small funds for startups to validate their business and be able to scale. So fun fact. James knows that. We just get people happy, that's it. Yeah. Whichever ways. When I'm there, you'll be happy. So I just make people happy. That's my fun part. Then, what was the other question? Okay, my free time. Okay. I still work.
Okay. Let's go to Mr. Waseem.
Hello everyone, my name is Waseem. I'm a founder of two businesses. One is in the web service space, 8-year-old company called KiliHost, dealing in domain and web services. I also run a new startup which is just 3 years old in the logistics space, working in the food service industry, catering for food deliveries, shop deliveries and other delivery aspects of businesses. Yeah, so these are my two babies that I've been growing for the past 8 years now. Also, fun fact, I would go with James that the best ideas come at night, so I'm a late sleeper. And in my free time, I've just started on my New Year's resolution, which was working out. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So as we get into the discussion, Mr. Francis, what does it actually mean when you say you're building a startup from scratch?
Okay, so I think I'm still a founder and a startup supporter. So I'll just come from this perspective. But before I start, I want to say like I'm really proud. Most of the startups, maybe it can give you kind of context of where I come from. The 3 startups I mentioned, Damkononi, Saratani AI, and Afiatun, actually 2 of them are in my portfolio, so I support them. So that shows that I really am very interested in very exciting ideas that young people are building, so I build with them from scratch. So for me, what it means by building from scratch is a lot that has to do with the founder. For me, it's a founder perception. How bad do you want it? You need to be able to first understand what you want to solve. How do you want to go about it? What do you need to achieve this? Where will you find them? One of the things that I've seen, which sometimes can be very frustrating for founders, is that you are very passionate about an idea, then you just jump into it. Of course, there are a lot of frictions, and if you are not really resilient, you might give up. So for me, starting or trying to build from scratch is first understand that you really care about that. It's like what Waseem said, it has to be a baby. If it's not a baby, then you can't build it. So it must be something that you really care about. You sleep, wake up, you want to do it. That's the first thing. Second thing is you clearly understand your growth path. You understand what resources do you need. Is it money? Is it tools? Is it people? Is it partnerships? Then you have to really figure out, where am I going to get this? Do I have my own money? Do I have to get someone else or something like that? You have to get that done. And also, you have to be able to know that this also can be scalable and people can come on it. So those are the very fundamental things that I look at for, or when I'm building or supporting other startups. Those are the things that you should really think about when you're starting from scratch.
Okay, thank you very much, Francis. Mr. Redemptha, so in digital creation, we're seeing that this space in digital content creation has been growing, and we have multiple platforms, and youth make a lot of money through it, artists. So how can someone leverage on these digital content creation platforms and create a sustainable business around it? And what are the perhaps challenges that you think they will come across, and how to go about them?
Well, first of all, I think that's like a whole session situation, yeah? How can someone create source of income through digital creation? Is that what I get? Yes. And also challenges that I have first while I am doing this digital creation situation, yes. And how have I overcome, yeah? So how many of you are in social media platforms? The light is giving on my face, but I would love to know. How many of you are in social media platform? Just any kind of social media. Yeah? Yeah? How many of you are active users of those social media platforms? Active users. How many of you will consider yourself that you have grown using social media? You have grown in terms of like whatever you want to achieve. How many of you consider? Yeah, you have grown. How many of you, this is the last question, how many of you don't see yourself quitting creating content as much as you're alive? Yeah? Oh, the hands kept on going down, down, down. Okay. So how to create a stream of income, how to monetize the whole content creation. I'll personally say, since, as I say this, we could stand here for a whole day as I'm telling you this. Personally, it can sound cliche as well, but as much as you have identified your niche, knowing who is your content directed to, and how often are you willingly to show up into that particular platform, and what are you exactly communicating, and how can you stand for it? I'll back up with what he said. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to show up? And versus your time, how can you tell your client that this is how much I'm worth? Because I cannot tell you here, if I market a certain product, it will be equal to a certain product. The budget is different, but I will stand tall versus with how bad I want to position myself out there. I'll tell the client, this is how much I think I can be paid for this period amount of time. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month. And as you keep on exercising that, you create certain sort of a system. So how to monetize this platform, a simple answer will be through constant practicing it. The more you do it, the more you create following, the more you gain experience, you become accurate from speaking, from writing, so keep on practicing. So far, the challenges I have gotten, it used not to be something that people understand. My mom will say, unajirekodi tu hapo. First, that would be, I assume we all speak Swahili in here, maybe, a huge number of us.
Most.
Unajirekodi tu, could you translate that?
You just record yourself without any...
But say as I said, unajirekodi.
You're just recording yourself.
Love it. But the challenges I got, still now people have just started to get it, that you can actually make money out of being a content creator. So right now it is somehow being, I don't want to say easy, but something that is easily communicated. It is easily communicated that I am a content creator and this is what I can do. So now, assume you are my clients, because people now have knowledge of what a content creator does. There is a certain understanding. So people will ask me, so what can you do? And you say, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I love the use of matrix. People ask you, what are the returns? So you need to be able to answer this. So I love that the knowledge is going on. So far, I'm not going to say that I have gotten a challenge so far, but I'm excited for the future. So how have I overcome the challenge?
Yes.
Through exposing myself to learnings. Yeah, I love learning. I love putting myself out there and just trying. So I have passed those challenges by just throwing myself to the wind, asking myself, what's the worst thing that could happen? Yeah, so okay. I'm sorry, maybe you didn't expect that you expected I to tell you the tools and the applications you could possibly download to overcome the challenges as you grow as a content creator. But sadly, it's just to keep on going hard and sleep less.
Wow, that is amazing. So one of the key learnings that I've learned is the challenges are experiences. So we keep on pushing and embrace them as experiences, right?
That's what's up.
Okay. So back to Mr. Albany James. As Francis said, these startups are babies, and you have created a lot of babies, right? What are the challenges that you usually face in building a baby? Or let's use the word startup, yeah? So building a startup from scratch, most of the Tanzanian space is literally unstructured, and sometimes you might face legal impediments or challenges like what you're doing isn't in the policies and regulations. So how do you actually navigate through all these procedures and building something that actually stands and is sustainable for years to come?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I'll start where Francis started, right? When we are building, by the way, he's my competitor, but we're friends. So we're good. Yeah, we both, when I started Food Sasa, we had a discussion with him about his almost similar businesses, but we're friends, yeah? So just to add on what Francis said is, to me, building a startup from the scratch starts with a why, the problem, basically. Like, what is this problem you're solving, connecting it to the market size in terms of how big is the market? Just CO2, we're in a bibiako, and then you think you are building like a proper startup. And then from that is where now the difference comes, from the scratch comes from now how you're solving this problem, how unique, what are these unique features that you have that differentiate you from everybody else. So that's where from the scratch comes from, if you ask me. So, but the problem should be the first thing you focus on in terms of what is the problem and how big is it, yeah? So some people will stand here and say, when you have a good idea, you're done, you're good. Ideas move mountains, like pia bulldozers do the same job, yeah? Okay. So I don't really support good ideas. I think, Francis, you can back me up, saying you have seen good ideas fail, because again, if you can't pitch that good idea, it is as equal as you have nothing. They say, if the tree falls in Mikumi now, and none of us know about it, it is as if it didn't fall. You know what I'm saying? So start from the scratch is how you're going to craft that story or how you're going to solve it. Now, startup life, Francis, Red, you're also a hustler like us. Francis, my brother here. Yeah, so guys, you can back me up. Our life is very brutal.
Lonely.
Yeah.
Lonely.
Very lonely, very brutal. Like, we didn't choose not to sleep. I think the insomnia comes as a gift. So, as a gift, it's very brutal. Sometimes, when he kept saying babies, I kept remembering, I have babies. So like basically, you get caught up between what you want to build versus what you have built with your baby mama, whatever you have back home. So school fees and everything get you in the corner. So it's very brutal. Now, how do you navigate through that? I think we all, four of us, could share a thing or two. Lakini, I think challenges are there, political challenges are there, legal challenges are there, where you actually go to Brela or you go to municipal council and ukasema, I need a license to deliver food, and they're like, we do not have that service in our booklet. We're going to give you this instead. so we go through that. But as people, we're like very fun people to be. So when you find that somewhere going crazy, just let us be, because that's how sometimes we navigate and cool down to get ready for the next day. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So as you recall, in the beginning I asked the fun fact and what you do in your free time. That was purposeful because as entrepreneurs, most of us, we don't sleep. And we usually tend to sacrifice a lot just because we need our babies to grow. That is the truth, but also sometimes it's very important to take care of ourselves, our mental health and our physical health, because if we're not physically capable and mentally capable, then we will not perform effectively in building our businesses. So going to Mr. Waseem, you've dealt with logistics and you've built 2 startups, right? As aspiring entrepreneurs, what was that aha moment? Because Mr. Farhan came out here and said that most of us, they're looking forward to be founders. And necessarily sometimes you may not be a founder, but you'll be a co-founder, and your talent will be able to build a startup to a next level. So as a person who I assume that you came up with those ideas, or you had a friend that came up with those ideas. What was that aha moment that you feel that this problem is huge, as Mr. Albany said, and this problem actually requires somebody to address it? And how did you navigate through that process?
Okay, so maybe I'll go back a bit before starting my 2 startups. My background was in sales. So I used to do computer sales a lot, and based on that, is where my income came from. Now what I saw is when you are getting into entrepreneurship, you need to predict, or you need to understand what you will be getting on a monthly basis. You can't be dependent on people coming to you to buy because you don't have a predictable income. So the whole reason why I started my startup was to start getting a predictable income. First is you have a ceiling when you are employed. You have a ceiling whereby you only walk away with a specific amount at the end of every month. But when you are going to entrepreneurship, that ceiling is gone, so it's all on your efforts and on your hard work that, that starts giving you the returns. Now, when it came to the businesses that I wanted to start, first is for all entrepreneurs or those wanting to go into entrepreneurship, I would say you should look at the gaps in the market. That is what I looked at, so you see that what is it that someone is doing, but you can do maybe 10 times better, or what is there that no one is doing, but it can be a business that can generate income for you. So there are 2 things. What can you do better than someone else who is already doing it with a better service offering, or something that is not being done at all, but if you were to do it, you could get paid for it. So when you want to move into entrepreneurship, I would say look at these 2 things. So that is what I did. And when I talk about an aha moment, is sometimes one baby comes because of the other. So my first business is a web service company, and I deal with a lot of customers. Each customer comes with their own needs. Make this for me, make this website for me, or I want to sell online. So that was my first business. I used to deal with different customers. When they came to me, they wanted to sell products. We set up a store for them. Now they asked, what next? Okay, if a person orders, I cannot deliver. Who do I get in touch with for my deliveries? You can't go to DHL, you can't go to FedEx, because when it comes to the service industry, it needs to be fast. So that was my moment whereby I said, okay, why don't I do this for you? So I didn't have any experience in this. All I did is invest into a fleet, employed a driver, and said, okay, I will provide this service for you. Whenever you have an order, I will get it delivered for you. And that was the beginning of my second business, and it grew from there. So from my previous client base, I started offering services. I told my clients, now this is my new business. If you have a business which is selling, you don't have to buy a motorbike, you don't have to employ a driver. We will bring the drivers to you. We will take care of the delivery. So that is how a moment comes by. You might be doing something, and you might get an opportunity which you need to, even if you don't have that experience in it, you should just grasp it, try it out. Because I always believe in 2 things. If you don't try it out, then you fail 100%. But if you try something out, there is a 50% chance that you will succeed. So take the chance. It's an experience. If you fail, it's a success if you pass. So that is my experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So one of the key learnings that we have learned here is that you should try it out, because if you don't, it's 100% failure. But if you do, there's a 50% of succeeding or failing. But you're going to learn from those failures, and the next one you're going to build better. So as we round up our session, there will be one more question, but also a general advice. What would you advise someone who is aspiring, or currently he's building a startup from scratch? So Mr. Francis, one is he supports investments for early stage startups. How is the investment landscape currently in Tanzania. You just need to tell us how is it and what can be done better, and what's the advice that you can give for a person who is or she is building a business right now.
All right, thank you. When it comes to startups, we can talk for 2 days, but let's try to make it very short.
Yes, you can use 2 minutes.
Yeah. So basically, the Tanzania investment landscape, I think it's kind of evolving currently. Before, it's been a lot of grants, and I feel like these grants were actually helping founders build successfully. So we coming in, what we started doing was we wanted to provide bootstrapping funds. So there was really saying, you know, we don't know where to find early stage funds. We are giving early stage funds. So we wanted to change our narrative, and we wanted to help young people start thinking through the idea to be commercial. Like how James was saying, the market has to be big. If we want to kind of position ourselves for foreign investment, we have to really show that what we're building is scalable, is commercially viable, and there are local investors putting in money, right? So that's something that we really started to change, and we are currently investing, and we are also helping these startups to unlock foreign investment. So in the past year, we've actually helped companies to raise over $500,000, and they're still raising in less than 12 months. So that shows like good indication that one, the startup scene is changing. That means we have commercial companies that founders are now thinking commercial, and we're now having local small funds that can really boost these companies. So it's changing, and there are opportunities in terms of local investing. And for founders here, I want you to think commercial, not just to get a grant, but also to think that you are going to build something that will change the community and really be that scalable and can be a role model to the continent.
Okay, thank you very much. Mrs. Redemptha, one thing that you would tell your younger self before you started doing digital content creation, and one thing that you're looking forward to do differently now that you have realized it.
Be honest. Be honest.
Be what? Be honest. Well, something I'll tell my younger self is you have a brighter future. That is what I'll tell myself. And I know it can also sound cliche. Something I'll tell my younger self still will be, you will be your only enemy. Yeah? I know you all are young CEOs in here. You all are having your own battles. And also, I'm sorry, I'm going to tap into the mental health situation before I go into the what can I tell my current self. Sure. As I say, our future is bright. We have our own things. We don't sleep. But it's very important also to take care of ourselves. And also, there's one speaker who also mentioned something around if something that I will just paraphrase. If something that I am personally doing isn't impacting somebody or the community around myself or creating some sort of generational transformation, what am I really doing? Yeah, so that is also food for thought. But as I am doing this, I should take care of myself, because I would love to see other people achieving what I have pioneered, what the kind of life I've modeled as Redemptha. As people say, I would love to create content like Redemptha. I would love to implement strategies that Redemptha does when she's creating content. What makes Redemptha so unique amongst all other content creators? Why is she always getting 1, 2, 3, 4? So as I am passing that knowledge to other people, I would also love to keep on taking care of myself so that I can see other people flourishing in what I have inspired them to become. So I just want to slide it in there. Hello, young CEOs, as you hustle, please have a good time to take care of yourself. And it could mean anything differently to every one of you, yeah? Some of you could be having a beer on a sunset. Others, it could be anything. Time with your family, it could be anything. So what I'll tell my future self, I heard this yesterday, and it could be very bad to say that this is what I'll tell to my future self, but it's okay. Yeah, I heard it yesterday. Just, we love sometimes to scroll through social media, and a certain reel popped up. It was just such an inspiration. These inspo reels that pop with some nice words, yeah? So Would you allow me to play it? Hold up, give me a second. I know, no pressure, right?
No pressure.
Wait. Chill. It's right here. Wait, kidogo, here.
You will never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. Always remember, you will never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You will only be criticized by someone doing less.
Yeah, for me, that really stood. So I'll tell myself, Redemptha, you will always be criticized, you will never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. But you will always be criticized by someone who's doing less than you. Who do I want to look up to? I would love to look for people who are doing more than me, right? Yeah?
Yes.
So, Redemptha, always look up for people who are doing more than you. That's what I'll tell myself.
Hand of applause, yeah, man. Thank you very much, Mrs. Redemptha. Mr. Albany, as you get to, we know that you have helped a lot of young entrepreneurs to scale their businesses through Azesha Ventures. Now, why, as we know, most Tanzanians don't tell their stories. Can you tell us a very short story about one of the most successful startups that you have mentored and helped to scale? And what's the advice that you can give to a person who is looking out to come to Azesha Ventures?
Man, I killed 2 of my startups, so there's no way there's no way I'm going to give you that story today. But as Azesha Ventures, Francis knows about Azesha Ventures, we are building a type of startups that are different from what Dar es Salaam is focusing. Now that's something we also learned, and Francis has been emphasizing this. Not every startup need a website or an app. So every time we hear the word startup, we think a website, an app, or whatever. So now, currently I live in Lushoto. I moved out of there. I'm tired of this city.
Wow.
Yeah, so the beer there is nice. So I promise.
It's cold.
It's cold, yeah. So what we do is we have collected 150 smallholder farmers. We have started a website called Mama Mboga, where you could order vegetables straight from Lushoto farm to table. So basically, we are changing our shift from like technology to SMEs kind of thing, because people are facing actual stuff, and it doesn't matter whether your fancy app can do it, they don't know about it. So my advice to everybody here is get a partner that can do what you cannot do. And in life, kwenye bendi, kwenye ndoa, whatever it is that you're having now, whatever drama that you're going through, get a partner that can do what you cannot do. My father always says 1 + 0 is equal to infinity. 1 is what you have, 0 is what you don't have. So get a partner that has 0 + 1 if you have 1 + 0, so that you can balance each other, right? So you could balance each other. I will say something. There was a research that was done using 100 unicorns startups. And I think more than 80% of those startups, those unicorns, had more than 2 partners. So do not start something alone, because if you start getting insomnia, then you're all by yourself. And then you say, we get lonely. But if you have a partner, I'm not talking about the other one that sends you LOL, I'm talking about the business partners, then they could also take out of that pressure. Then, of course, your mental health, as what we're stating here, will be proper. My only advice to you and everybody else, to myself, is get a partner that can do what you cannot do, so that they could subsidize that stress. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albany. And I think it's a very huge issue, especially for youth. I mean, everyone is looking forward to be a founder or building something, but exactly, I believe, and I think most people believe, that when you're building something, it's very essential to look for people who you can build with. That's actually important. Looking forward to the power of we rather than the power of I. It's actually important, because you can't do everything by yourself. You're looking forward to build a business, as Mr. Albany said, look for people who complement yourself. They do things that you don't do, so as they can be able to push the idea or the business forward. As we go to Mr. Waseem, We can say that you're an serial entrepreneur because now you have 2 businesses and perhaps you're going to build more. What do you advise someone who's looking forward to be a serial entrepreneur? As I've listened to your story, you started the first business in which it complemented the beginning of the next business. So I see a trend that people who are doing serial entrepreneurship, they are looking forward on how to leverage on the first business and build the second one. So how can you explain this and tell someone who's looking forward to be a serial entrepreneur? And also one thing that you think that in the current ecosystem in Tanzania will grow to be a potential problem and people now should be looking forward to solve.
Okay. So when you come to the first aspect of your business, if you look at anyone who wants to get into entrepreneurship, I would say look at the construction space. So if you don't have a strong foundation when you are building your building, as you build, your building will come to fall. So when you decide to get into entrepreneurship, like my colleague said, have a good partner. You might start alone, but you might not need a partner, but have a strong team is what I would suggest. You start getting team members who will complement you, who become your foundation. And like my colleague Albany said, that is not always that you want an app or a website. It could be any business. You could think about how can you get more milk in your area, or better milk in your area, or how can you keep serving households with their daily needs. So when you look at a business, look at it from that aspect, that this is going to keep paying you throughout your life. And how can you build a sustainable business that will take care of not only you, but also your future, So look at it as if you are doing a construction project. Start with a strong foundation. Work with information that you have. You need to understand your business in and out. I would say myself, I'm very keen on data that I accumulate in my business.
Okay.
Understand what is working for your business and grow what is working for you, rather than focusing on something that is not growing and focusing on that part. So that is one aspect. One aspect that I would say. For your second,
the most trending problem that you think youth that are here, they should look forward on solving, something that you think is going to be big, or a problem that is rising and going to be massive, and there's opportunities for youth to tap in and try to solve it.
Yeah. So just listening to the previous speakers. If you look at it, a large problem that all entrepreneurs will have is inaccessibility to data. When you are starting a startup without data is a big aspect that any entrepreneur can look at. So how can you as entrepreneurs provide data to other businesses about themselves? I would give you an example. I was in a seminar this week, and they were talking about banks, whereby banking institutions could offer a lot of other solutions to their customers, which they are not doing. They could offer, there are banks who have not followed up with customers' need that information. So their data is incomplete. So there are a lot of gaps in terms of data collection that startups can look into, whether you are into healthcare, whether you are into logistics, whether you are into sales. Look at how can you get hold of data, and as a startup, how can you enable other businesses to use and utilize that data. So that is an upcoming trend, which AI is the base of. So that is what my suggestion would be for any startup going forward.
Well. So please look into data and machine learning, artificial intelligence. There's where we're going. And see how to actually address this. You're closing this around the session, so I'll love the audience to give a round of applause to our esteemed panelists. Thank you very much, dear panelists, and let's call it a day.
I have a personal request.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen this done in other panelists.
Uh-huh.
Can I please have a group video situation with the ones I've had the panel? Thank you so much. That was my personal request. Thank you for attending it.
Thank you.